What's up guys? Welcome to Veldora-sensei. For today's video we will review the volume 11 prologue of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Without further ado, let's proceed with the video. It was a pure white mansion. There were blossoming flowers of all kinds in the garden. A young girl smiled as a young boy observed her. That was a happy time in the past, and the memory of it hadn't faded one bit. His one goal in life had been to retrieve such happiness. Yet, it was a task harder than traveling to the moon. The mansion, the golden city that he had built. There was also a beautiful garden, like a paradise in heaven. It was far more luxurious and grandiose than the one in his memory. Yet the most important aspect, the key to his memory, just somehow couldn't be found. Even after he had become a force to be reckoned with in this world, he was unable to find his beloved young girl. And without her, he could never find his smile. All of this had been prepared for his beloved young girl. His name was Leon Cromwell. One of the demon lords, known as the Platinum Saber. And the girl that demon lord Leon was seeking was. This was the kingdom that Leon ruled, the Golden Valley El Dorado. The royal castle, in the shape of a spiral, towered at the center of the kingdom. The location was the meeting hall of the royal castle. Leon exuded an air of majesty on his throne as three suspicious individuals kneeled before him. It went without saying that this was Laplace's party. You again. Isn't this the second time? Yes. To have the honor of being recognized by His Majesty Demon Lord Leon, we are most grateful. However, we regret to inform you that we will be suspending the transaction of the confidential merchandise this time. It was Tyr who answered Leon in a rather serious tone. It was an attempt to make them seem more appealing by letting the female Tyr do the negotiating. This was also going to be their last engagement. They had decided to follow Yuuki's plan and pause all activities in the Western nations. Misha of the Cerberus organization would continue to act as a correspondent to the Rosso family. While they proceeded with their prior transactions, Yuuki's party would move their headquarters to the Eastern Empire. In addition, losing Mariabelle also greatly reduced the Rosso's strength. In truth, the supplier of their top-secret merchandise was the Kingdom of Sultrasso, and right now the Rosso family didn't possess enough power to conduct any more summonings. Moreover, now that Tempest had joined the Western States Council, the Western nations would be under the influence of Demon Lord Rimuru. Their surveillance would be tighter than ever. Laplace and the others all agreed that it was time to leave. Oh, that's quite bold of you. Unlike Damrata, you wish to raise the price with me so soon? No, you have misunderstood. As His Majesty Leon is probably aware, Demon Lord Rimuru has cemented his place in the Western nations. He's rather displeased with the summoning of otherworlders and strictly forbids it. We believe that it wouldn't be easy to continue the trade under these circumstances, Tyr answered smoothly. Hearing this, Leon thought to himself, as I suspected. He had sent some of his men to blend in within the Western nations, and they reported the same things. Leon himself thought that things would develop in that direction sooner or later. Honestly, there was too much uncertainty with this method. The rate of success was astronomically low. It was an approach that was unlikely to work from the start. After all, this was about summoning a specific individual to this world. He had ordered his subordinates to do the summoning countless times. It took more than 30 summoners working together in the span of 7 days of rituals, with detailed procedures to do the summoning to Leon's specific criteria. Yet the rate of success was less than 1%. Moreover, it would take some time for the same person to conduct the summoning ritual again, and the number of times a person could attempt the ritual was also limited. From the start, the rate of success was close to zero. Even Leon himself had conducted many summons, yet they all ended in failure. His last summon called upon Shizu Izawa, and tomorrow, it would be 66 years since she was summoned. If he wanted to narrow down the conditions into the summoning rituals, the interval between summons would be even longer. The next summon was not worth looking forward to, either. That was why he devised the incomplete summoning rituals. It was a young girl that Leon was looking for. That was why the incomplete summon, which had a higher chance of summoning children, should raise his rate of success, even though it would be barely noticeable in the grand scheme of things. He planned to spread the method among the Western nations, thereby increasing the chance of success by raising the number of summons attempted and thus gathering more children. Yet to this day, it had been a complete failure. There was no other way, and he could not think of any other alternatives. That anxious uneasiness weighed heavily on his heart. Regardless, Leon spoke in his usual cold monotone. "Remember you say? We have not signed an agreement nor asked for any aid." But in the end, he became the hindrance. Still, that's something that can't be helped. However, what did you mean by our trade will be suspended? Even if the West has fallen, wouldn't the East still be operating? Leon's sonorous voice echoed in the meeting hall. There was an intense pressure in his voice. Tyr couldn't help but feel numb after being hit by his voice head-on. They were on different levels. A half-baked Magian would have problems just standing still in front of a demon lord. Even for someone as strong as Tyr, it was difficult to deal with Leon. She was not alone here, however. "Allow me to explain," Laplace interjected. "Things are heating up in the East, actually. They seem to be secretly preparing for war, so their mages are quite occupied. That's why it's not as easy to gather people needed for conducting rituals." Leon squinted at Laplace after listening to what he had to say. How annoying, he thought to himself. He didn't care about what happened between the Western nations and the Eastern Empire, but if the war were to be lengthy, it would impact Leon's goals. If this were to be the case, he would need to re-examine his plans. With that being said, these thoughts were all in Leon's head. He was still sitting on his throne with a cold expression, silently glaring at Laplace. His gaze made Laplace rather uncomfortable. This guy is definitely a pain in the ass to deal with. He's nothing like the fake demon lord I killed. The real deal really is different, no? Just like Boss said, it's not gonna be easy to seek revenge against this guy directly. Due to Yuki's orders, they had been keeping a low profile. So even with the person who killed Kazalam standing in front of him, Laplace didn't have the slightest intention to take on Demon Lord Leon. He was doing so to live up to Yuki's trust. He wanted to do his job well. But even if that were to be the case, with their arch-nemesis in front of him, he could still try to measure his strength and find his weaknesses. Even in Laplace's eyes, Demon Lord Leon was a monster. If he were to battle against him seriously, there was no telling who would come out on top. Perhaps he would win, perhaps he would lose. Even if the trio of Tyr, Footman, and Laplace were to cooperate in challenging him, the winner would still be up for debate. And that's it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on my next video.